Hello and welcome to the Marble Racing League livestream. We're here today for round 15 of season 5 of the Marble Racing League Championship here at Mexico City. It's a 17 corner track. We have 14 drivers today. Let's go on board with whoever's leaving the pit lane first. Quite a few reserve drivers today. So we have Shakatak in the Mercedes, then Joseph in the Red Bull, and then we have Mason in the Alfa Romeo. And then once again Enzo in the Ferrari. So we're starting off with an 18-minute qualifying session, and there's an AlphaTauri and a Mercedes already onto the track. So I'll give an update on how the season's gone so far. So it's Suku F1, who has won 8 rounds, much more than anyone else this season so far. William got his second win of the season in last round in Spain. But it is nearly a 100 point gap between him and Suku F1 with only 5 rounds to go. And actually no, 4 rounds to go, but 2 sprint races, so there's still a lot of points up for grab. Yes, there's still over 100 points up for grab as the maximum number of points you can get. So I would say Suku F1, William, Daryl and Andrew are still in this championship. Okay, let's go on board with Diego, who's about to start a flying lap of the Mexico City track. DRS open and down this very long straight into turn 1. Car getting out of the way there. It's a very long run down to turn 1 compared to other F1 tracks. 90 right. Important not to get the lines wrong through that sequence of corners, as it can compromise you down the second DRS zone of the track, heading towards turn 4. He's aborted the lap if he's gone into the grass. Let's go on board with someone else. He's actually gone wide in turn 4 too. Let's go on board with Shakatak on his flying lap. He has got his lap time validated as a result of cutting the corner there. Let's go on board with Verdugo in the Haas. Quite wide there into turn 6. And we do have a yellow flag. That is the Aston Martin led by the Mercedes on the 3rd DRS zone, which is just after turn 11, which we are approaching now. This is turn 10 and now turn 11. DRS open for Verdugo, the 3rd DRS zone, as we head into the 90 right of turn 12. Ibo is the first driver to flying lap, and with a 121.1. Wide line, and now coming around the final corner. Andrew has retired from the session, so that's the driver who is 4th place in the championship, and his championship hopes are quite low. If he DNFs for the qualifying, then he could be pretty much out of the championship. And then, yeah, so we've got William, who is not participating this round, so he is he is just under 70 points away from Secret F1, but he's not participating this round, so that gap is likely to extend, presuming that Secret F1 finishes in the top 13. Those are the point scoring positions in Marble Racing League. So maybe it's top 13 or 14, I can't remember which. A bit wide there from Verdugo, who is on an in-lap now. Let's go on board with Daryl. Well into the final sector. Yellow flag behind us, driver letting someone by. Coming around the final corner, where does Daryl go? He goes to the top with a 117.1. Endo's now completed lap, he's in second. Mason's gone wide there in the Alfa Romeo. Skid Solo and Sinful yet set a lap time. Ultimate Mr. Pura and Aston Martin has just gone out for an out lap and will start a flying lap. Let's go on board with him as he starts his flying lap momentarily. Mason has come back into the pits after an out lap. Let's go on board with Joseph Dvorak in the Red Bull. The reserve driver replacing Trunk this weekend. Suzuka F1 is also retired from the session. Although we have seen some very good comeback drives from Suzuka F1. Hairy moment there by Joseph Dvorak as he spins coming out of turn 9. Back on board with him. Let's go on board with Ultimate Pro. He is starting the flying lap. Brakes just before the 100 marker board. Misses the apex heading into turn 5. Quite a tight line to 6. Tight entry. Nearly track limits there. It's a good exit out of 11 and onto the third DRS zone. Heading into the 90 right of turn 12. Doesn't get too wide there. Into the heavy braking zone of turn 13. One of the corners of the track where the most contact happens. Very easy to lose the rear there, but keeps it clean coming out of the final corner and goes third fastest with a 1:19.8. Decent lap there by Ultimate Puro, who had his best result of the season last time out in Spain. It could have been even better had he not been tagged round at the first corner on the penultimate lap. He was en route for a podium, but unfortunately got tagged round, and I think he finished 5th maybe? That might not be right actually. Daryl, his teammate, has gone quicker, has beaten his time, so he's got a 1:16.7. Enzo, who's currently second in the timings, is on the outlet now. He'll work to improve his 1:17.5, that's his quickest time at the moment. There's a Haas passing him there. Shack Attack is on an in lap. Let's go on board with Ultimate Mr. Puro. I think he's also on an in lap. Let's go on board with Diego. On a flying lap at the moment. Wider line than that compared to Ultimate Mr. Puro. That might gain him some time compared to Ultimate Mr. Puro heading into the third sector of the lap. Turn 10 and now turn 11. There's some traffic ahead, but I think that's a Haas. Yeah, possibly a Veriduco. Oh no, actually maybe a Simple, he's usually come out without lap. Yellow flag at turn 1, that's for an Alpine, that'll be for Racing Wheel. I'm not sure what's happened there, he might have gone a bit wide. Ooh, Diego has missed the apex, so that might lose him some time. Very tight line coming out of the final corner, and goes second, so that's a 1:17.5 for Diego. And that is actually that is 7/10 slower compared to Daryl, who has set the fastest time so far this session. So we're past the halfway mark of this session, and exactly half of the field have set a flying lap time. So Racing Wheel, Andrew Sukafon, who have both retired from the session suspiciously, and then Joseph Dvorak, the reserve driver for Red Bull, Mason for Alfa Romeo, the reserve driver for Alfa Romeo today, and then also Skid Solo in the McLaren, and Simple, yet set flying lap time. That could change in the next few minutes as we've got a Simple on a flying lap now. We also have Racing Wheel on a flying lap. He did have a moment into turn 1, so it might not be a competitive flying lap at the moment. On board is Simple, now heading towards turn 6. Easy to spin the car if you take too much curve there. Very close to track limits coming out of turn 11. You stayed within the limits. Now heading into turn 12. Doesn't take too much curve there, and that saved him some time. Not an ideal line through turn 14. Now to the final corner. Quite clean through there, so that could been quite high up the order. Yeah, he does go second, so with a 117.4. Ibo has set a lap time of a 121.0. Verdugo and the Haas has set a lap time of a 120.5. Ultimate Puro has dropped down to 6. And he's probably about to go on the flying lap. Letting the drivers by. That is Mason in the Alfa Romeo. Both Sebastian and Race Chase, who are in the top 10 in the standings, are not racing this weekend. And Aston Martin are not that far behind them, so... And also, Aston Martin have both their full-time drivers racing this weekend. This is a great opportunity for Aston Martin to snatch fourth place in the standings off them. Alfa Romeo have 193 points, Aston Martin have 172. That could easily change coming out of this round. Williams and Haas seem to be the only other teams with both their full-time drivers racing this round. Quite a few reserve drivers this round compared to previous rounds as well. Mason seems to be on a cooldown lap in the Alfa Romeo. Let's see if he can improve in his lap time of a 119.0. Now board with Ibo. Coming around the final corner, can he improve with his time? He does improve to 8th place with a 120.1 exactly. And then we have Racing Real. He's coming around the final corner now. Can he improve in his time? Well, he hasn't set a time yet. He's actually on the medium tires, I didn't actually see that. He set a time of 121.4. Expect him to switch to the softs towards the end of the session. We've only got 4.5 minutes to go. So now, the time, there's only enough time to do one more flying lap run. To come to the pit and put in the final set of tyres for qualifying. I think it's a 35 lap race, or 36 maybe. One of the shorter laps of the calendar. So yeah, let's stay on board with racing with this a different strategy compared to other drivers. All the other drivers have set lap times on the soft tyre. Racing was the only driver to set lap time on the medium. Let's see if he can improve on his current time. Misses the apex heading into turn 13, that might lose him some time. Easy to look up if he hit that outside curve heading into turn 17. Just about avoided that. That lap time of a 121.0 remains. He remains in 10th place. Still 4 drivers yet to set a time, including 2 that are in championship contention.
So make the most of your stay around the race weekend. For those of you looking to soak up a bit of culture, popular tourist attractions.
Let's go on board with Daryl, who's on an outlap now. He has currently set the quickest time. Diego is on... oh no, he's not on the flying lap, definitely not. Also, Mr. Puro has unfortunately got his lap time deleted, so he'll have to report that. Lots of drivers going wide. and they're all letting drivers by. But Daryl is approaching the end of his outlap, and now he's going to start probably his final flying lap of the session. He will have time for another one, but he might need to put on a new set of tyres. Very long run down to turn 1. Important to not get too wide on the entry, as you can easily look up. Then into the left and the right hander, coming out of turn 3. Braking by the 100 marker board, heading to turn 4. Board not to get too wide in turn 4, as it will compromise your line into turn 5. Quickly swings it around turn 6, and now into the fast flowing corner section of turns 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. Heading into turn 10 now, easy to go wide there. Might have missed the apex there a bit more than he wanted. Now into the penultimate corner, heading around the final corner, turn 17, to complete one of his final flying laps. So yeah, a 1:16.4, that is an improvement on his last time. Let's go on board with Simple, who is currently second in the timings. He is on what could be his final flying lap of the session. And now heading into turn 12. Uses more of the apex than Daryl, so let's see if he can gain time from that. Went a bit wide at the exit of 13, which compromises line to 14. But now heading through turn 17, where can he go? He has got a quicker lap time, but it might not be enough to maintain that second place. He set a lap time of just under the 1:17 boundary. Joseph Durack has aborted his final flying lap time, so he will not complete qualifying higher than 7th place. And the checkered flag is out, so let's go on board with Enzo, who is on his final flying lap. Shack Attack is also on his, actually no, he has aborted his flying lap, so he won't improve that time of 1:18.1. Simple has also completed his time. Let's see where Racing Wheel is at. So he is on a flying lap 2, but is running out of ERS, so he might be able to improve. He has stayed on the medium tyres the entire session, so maybe he's going for an aggressive tyre strategy for the 35 lap race later on. On board with Enzo in the Ferrari. He has unfortunately got his lap time invalidated, so he will not improve in that 4th place, and I guess that will be the grid for round 15 then. Yes, he aborts his lap, heading to the pit lane. Okay, so that's qualifying over. We have Daryl taking pole position in the Aston Martin. Suka F1 didn't participate in the session, as did another championship rival, Andrew, in the Red Bull. So in row 1 it's Daryl and Simple. I think that might be one of the first times this season Simple's got onto the front row. At least the half's getting onto the front row. And then we have Diego in 3rd place in the Williams, who are the leaders in the constructor standings. Enzo, the reserve driver for Ferrari, is also joining him in row 2. So there we see the top 4, and then we have 5th place is Shack Attack, reserve driver for Mercedes today. Another reserve driver out in the Alfa Romeo, that's Mason, 6th place with a 1:19.0. Joseph Durack and Ultimus De Puro round up row 4. And then we have Ibo and Veroduco in 9th and 10th place in the Alfa Tauri and the Haas. Racing Wheel on the medium tyres set the slowest lap time with a 1:20.863. In the Alpine, 11th place. There are 14 drivers taking part in this race, but 3 did not participate in the qualifying session, so they That's Andrew, Sucre F1, who are, I think it's first and fourth in the championship. They're starting 12th and 13th. And we have Skid Solar and the McLaren starting in last place. That's 14th place. Okay, so a few minutes for drivers to select their strategies and fuel loads. I'll give an update on the driver standings where we've just joined. So we have Suka F1 on 282 points, William in the Ferrari with 216 points, Daryl quite way behind with 164 points. He's on the bubble for falling out of championship contention after this round. So is Andrew on 155 points. Sebastian isn't participating this round, and in the Alfa Romeo it's on 121 points. Yax and Trunks are very close together in the standings. Race Chase is also not far behind. Diego and Quincy in the Mercedes round out the top 10. Arco 44 is not participating in this round, but is only 1 point outside of the top 10 in the standings. Kevin hasn't participated for a few rounds and has dropped outside the top 10 in the standings. He's in 12th place with 54 points. Simple, who's starting second for this race, is on 41 points and is in 15th place in the standings. Then we have Racing Wheel on 40 points in 14th place. Skid Solo, Verdugo, Ibo, Ultimus Tapura, and Heights rounding out the top 19 for the standings. Then we move on to the team standings. Williams have a 100 point lead over Ferrari. Red Bull in a bit of a race of their own. Actually, no, they are not too far behind Ferrari on 227 points. Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin very close together. That could swap around after this round, as Alfa Romeo will not score any points this round. Aston Martin have a chance for both their drivers to score points. AlphaTauri and McLaren in 6th and 7th are separated by 1 point. And then we have Haas in 8th, Mercedes in 9th with 64 points, and then Alpine with 40 points. That is Racing Wheel. So here we go then, round 15, and we're going to go for formation lap then. So I can do an overview of the grid again. So it's Daryl and Simple on the front row. Diego and the Williams, who had a great race last time out in Spain, is starting third and has got a great opportunity to gain a few more positions in the championship, as Race Chase and Trunk and Yax ahead of him are not participating this round. Enzo, the reserve driver for Ferrari, is starting in 4th alongside Diego. Then we have 2 reserve drivers locking out row 3, that's Shakatak in the Mercedes and Mason in the Alfa Romeo. Another reserve driver, Joseph Dvorak in the Red Bull, starting alongside Ultimus Tapura in the Aston Martin. Ibo and Verdugo run out row 5. There was contact there between Joseph Dvorak and Ultimus Tapura, so they're going to be already on the grid. The strategies there, and then so then we have Racing Wheel, Andrew, Suko F1 and Skid Solo starting outside the top 10 for this round. I think it's the top 13 who score points in the Marble Racing League each round, so it's pretty much all about finishing this round to get points. there are only 14 drivers starting this race. There are usually quite a few DNFs that occur in each round of the MBRL Racing League. Particularly for Season 5, we've had sometimes 4 safety cars in a round. Because there's only 14 cars, there's only 14 drivers competing this round. I would assume there'll be less. Now we're approaching the final sector, the stadium section. And we should be getting underway very shortly. So that is all 14 drivers on the grid. And we are underway in Mexico City. That is a really good start by Daryl. Third place driver in the championship. He's got a very good start. Diego has also had a very good start and is alongside Simple, and so has Shack Attack. They're going to go 3 wide into the first corner. Diego cuts him off. He's going to try and go around the outside of Daryl into turn 1. Not quite works. Nearly contact there between Daryl and Diego. And we've got Racing Wheel, who's had a crash there. Who is now DNF'd. Contact there between Ibo and Racing Wheel, and we might have a safety car already. Virtual safety car. So that is 1 DNF already. That's Racing Wheel out in the Alpine. Let's see who has gained the most positions at the start then. There is a penalty for Veriduco, so he might have had contact with Ibo and Racing Wheel there, because I saw Ibo spin around as well. Still a virtual safety car. Drivers, let's look at the drivers who gained the most positions. So Andrew's gained 6 places, he started 12th. Crucial for him if he wants to stay in championship contention. And then we have Secret F1 who's gained 4 places, is in 9th. Decent start for him. Skid Solo has also gained 4 places. However, Simple, who started on the front row, has lost 2 at the start to Diego and Shack Attack. Diego nearly got the lead there. Could have gained 2 places at the start, but was just run out of road there by Daryl and had to take avoiding action to stay in 2nd place. So here we go then. Vertical safety car has ended. Has anyone been caught out by this restart? It looks like Diego has, and Shack Attack is looking to make a move down the inside to 2nd place. Let's go on board with him. Diego breaks later than him. He actually gets very close to Daryl, so it's a 3-way battle here for the lead. Shack Attack looks at the better exit, and it's a very sketchy moment there for Diego. That will give a great opportunity for Shack Attack, possibly down to 10-1. She might be defending the inside line there from Simple. We've got Ultimate Stapuro, got behind Simple 2 in 5th place. Then just outside the top 5 we have Andrew in the Red Bull. Ultimate Stapuro has taken a very wide line there, they might lose in time. And then we have Enzo in the Ferrari. Mason there going a bit wide. Skid Solo just behind him. And then we have Joseph Dvorak, who is on the soft tyre, one of the very few drivers on the soft tyre, so is Shack Attack. Let's go on board with Ibo, who has nearly bent it into the barrier there. He had a spin on lap 1 and so the spin on lap 2 as well. Change for position between Skid Solo and Mason, so Skid Solo is now in 8th. Looking to pull away from Haas in the standings. Is McLaren. Then we have Shack Attack, who's looking for a move down the inside of Diego in the Williams. This won't count to Mercedes tally if he finishes in 2nd. And then we have Simple as well, trying to make a move down the inside of Diego, not quite. A bit too far behind there. Some moves further back, that's Andrew ahead of Ultimate Stapuro, who's now in 6th place. So not a good race for Alpine, so that's Racing Wheels left the session now. He DNF'd in that one. All wide moment there for Ultimate Stapuro. He's got the Ferrari, he's going to make the move down the inside of him into turn 6. back on board with our league, or on board with our leaders. It's Daryl who's extended the gap to nearly 3 seconds. Shack Attack is on the soft tyres, so we'll be looking to close that gap. Then we have Ivo also on the soft tyres, but he's lost a lot of time due to a spin. Currently on lap 3 out of 36. Wide moment there for Diego. Suko F1 has lost some places too at the restart, so not sure what happened there. But he's in 11th place. That is still a point scoring position. But you won't be able to extend that gap too much to William, who was not participating in this round and will definitely not be scoring points. As we head towards round 16. And then let's go on board with Simple again. He managed to make the move past Shack Attack, so he's lost 2 positions at the start and he managed to gain both of those 2 places back. And now Diego's got ahead of Shack Attack too, so Shack Attack seems to be struggling on those soft tyres already. Suzuka F1 has set the fastest lap time with a 118.6. There's Joseph Dvorak there having a bit of a race of his own in the Red Bull. Unlike Andrew, who's a full-time driver, his points, Joseph Dvorak's points will not count to the Red Bull team standings tally. They are comfortably in 3rd place at the moment, so they probably will remain in 3rd place after this round, but anything can happen. Probably a track limits warning there for Ultimate Puro. He did not lift off as he went wide. We've got some side-by-side action here heading into the stadium section. That is Andrew losing a place to Enzo there, so Enzo's at a good restart. He's managing in 2 places there. Ibo looks so fun again, so that's put Secret F1 up to the top 10 in the Williams. Both Williams inside the top 10 now. So does Aston Martin and Red Bull. We've got Shack Attack making a move down the inside of Diego on the soft tyre now. Can Diego do anything to respond to that? Doesn't have the ideal line coming out of turn 3 though, so he might lose a bit of time there. How far behind is Enzo though, on the medium tyre? Lock up there from Enzo, but manages to make the apex, which is good. Heading into turn 6, that is nearly Diego going to the back of Shack Attack there. Those two were taking very different lines, heading to turn 6. Now to turn 7. A bit wide there from Enzo, that's lost him a bit of time. And possibly a move down the inside into turn 12 too. He might be waiting to make a move down the inside as heading to turn 1, which is a much better overtaking opportunity. He has to go up though. Turn 13 is a very tight corner, you can go for a sudden move down the inside there. Very risky though. Nearly alongside him though, so quite a weak line there from Diego in turn 13. That's given Enzo a great opportunity. As we head on to lap 7, we can have a great opportunity heading to turn 1. DRS open. Contact there, so that is Diego moving on the straight. That might be investigated after the race. Is he going to make a double move? So he's looking to get ahead of Shack Attack 2. They're going to go side by side to the corner. 3 abreast there. And we've also got Andrew in this fight too, so a 4-way battle. All that is Shack Attack getting forced wide by Diego there. And he's also lost the place to Andrew, so Andrew alongside Diego goes a bit wide but managed to maintain the place. Or has he? Very close between these 4. So Enzo's in the 3rd place, now in the podium positions, have managed to break away from the 3 drivers battling behind him. That's Andrew, Diego and Shack Attack. We're well into lap 6 now. That's a 1/6 of the full distance of this race. Still could be quite a while, especially to see the hard runners and the medium runners to come into the pits to change their tyres. However, watch out to see where Shack Attack and Ibo are going to pit. They're probably relying on a safety car. As we head on to lap 7. DRS open for Shack Attack on the Mercedes. Can he make the move down the inside of Diego heading to turn 1? He can't. Ibo has had, I think it might be the fourth spin of the race for him, unfortunately. There you can see Ultimate Superior at the back screen. Andrew is now in fourth place, ahead of Diego. Shack Attack also has DRS. Is now returned to a four-way battle, so Andrew is caught up to Enzo. Let's see the progress that Suka F1 is making. He is catching up to the back of Joseph Durak after having quite a mediocre start to the race. He has won 8 of the rounds this season. Did not win out last time in Spain due to bad luck with the timing of the safety car. He missed the pit lane whilst everyone else was able to go into the pit to change their tyres. That gave William Lofgren, who was second place in the championship, to win the race, to win his second race of the season. He won Las Vegas, but he also won in Spain. So William and Suka F1 are the only two drivers this season so far to win more than one race. The other race winners are Daryl and Sebastian, who won in the rounds much earlier in the season. There was a period of about 4 or 5 races when Suka F1 kept on winning races, and that tally is now added to 8. Move down the inside for Andrew. He has now got himself up into the podium places, that is up into 3rd place. Can Enzo do anything to respond to it into turn 3? Unfortunately, the DRS detection point is before the first DRS zone, so Andrew, whoever gets the DRS in the first DRS zone will get it in the second DRS zone. So that has blown the opportunity away for Enzo in the Ferrari. He's now in 4th place, but staying quite close to Andrew there in the Red Bull. Diego is right behind him in the hard tyres, and Shack Attack in the soft tyres has unfortunately slipped a bit back in 6th place. Let's see if Skid Solo on the hard tyres, who is 3 seconds behind him, can close that gap down to Shack Attack. Shack Attack is not a full-time driver, but Skid Solo is, so Skid Solo might need to get a move on to maintain that 7th place in the team standings for McLaren. They are 15 points ahead of Haas in the standings. So at the moment they are looking to stay ahead of Haas. They're looking to maintain their 7th place. Verdugo will not be scoring many points as things stand so far, but it will be very close heading into round 16, which will be a sprint weekend. A switch in the exit there for Andrew, but also the same for Enzo and Diego. Let's go on board with Ultimate Mr. Puro, who is very close to the back of Skid Solo. This is the battle for 7th place. Suka F1 is our championship leader. Has had quite a subdued race so far, so he is nearly 4 seconds behind that battle for 7th place. Oh, okay, so there is a time penalty for track limits for Shack Attack, unfortunately. He might need to come into pit soon as we approach a quarter of the distance of this race. So 9 laps in of the 36 laps we're having. I would imagine the soft runners are hoping for a safety car early on in the race so they can change those tyres. Go on board with our championship leader as we head around the final sector. Can he close that gap down to Ultimate Mr. Puro? Ultimate Mr. Puro has gone wide. That could give Suka F1 a good opportunity heading into turn 1. He is quite far back though, so there is a very long straight. Can he close that gap enough to make a move down the inside? He's a bit too far back. Let's get Solo there in 7th place. Let's go on board with Enzo. This is our closest battle on track at the moment. This is the battle for the final podium position. Battle for 3rd place. Gap between Simple and Daryl has grown quite a lot, so it's now 6.2 seconds. And unfortunately, Ibo is a lap down now after quite a large number of spins so far in this race. Simple's teammate Verdugo is just heading down into turn 1 now. so he's nearly lapped down after quite a poor restart. And Skid Solo is the next driver to come to track limits, so he's got, I think, 3-second time penalty. Those drivers are in 6th and 7th place, so that will give Suka a great opportunity to snatch 6th place off both those drivers. Suka will have DRS, gonna make a move down the inside. Midway through the main straight, he's now up to 7th. Let's go back on board with Enzo. Can he make a move down the inside? Heading to turn 4, not quite, a bit too far back. Ooh, goes a bit wider, that will compromise him a little bit, heading into turn 5. Down to turn 6, both Andrew and Enzo taking quite a similar line there. And Diego and Williams, if not too far behind them. Shack Attack is nearly 5 seconds behind Diego, and then we have Suka F1, who does not have a penalty, unlike Shack Attack. Looking to close that gap down to take 6th place. Not the best of exits there for Andrew, that will give Enzo a great opportunity. Preferably heading down the main straight, so this is a battle for the podium, for the final podium place. Once again, wide moment there for Andrew. Oh, but a nasty snap of oversteer there for Enzo will compromise him down to turn 1. So, oh, it does look like the move is still possible. Can he make the move down the inside? Or possibly around the outside? No, it's going to be down the inside into turn 1. Quite an easy move there. Andrew didn't defend much, so that's a battle for 3rd place. We are very likely to see this fluctuate quite a lot during the race, lap to lap. They are on different strategies, so you can see Andrew being on the medium tyres and Enzo being in the hard tyres at the end of the race. Presuming that there won't be a safety car. That's going on board with Shack Attack, who have unfortunately dropped both to Suka F1 and didn't get board with that. Ultimate Mr. Puro is in 9th place, not sure what happened there. At the back of the screen there you can see Mason just coming around turn 3, and now on board with Joseph Dvorak in the Red Bull. Heading into turn 6. And now into the 2nd sector. He is in 10th place. His points will not count to Red Bull's tally, unfortunately. Let's go back on board towards the front of the field. Are there going to be any moves being made down to turn 1? That is Sinful lapping Ibo, who is in 13th place. He is still on track to score points. If he doesn't, DNF. That's the case for all the drivers. Very close to losing it there with Andrew. Very late on the brakes there. But does have a cleaner exit out of turn 3, and that will prevent him from getting overtaken from Diego. Diego does not have DRS yet, and there you can see the other Williams of Suka F1, our championship leader, closing in on his teammates, and also his championship rival Andrew, who needs to get more points than, who ideally needs to get more points than Suka F1 this round in order to stay in championship contention. Bit of a wide moment there from Andrew coming out of turn 12, we've seen that before. But the driver ahead of him, Enzo, also locked up on the medium tyres. You could expect to see Shack Attack pit for a new set of tyres at the end of this lap. Does he come into the pits? He doesn't, so he stays out on those 12 lap old soft tyres. So I wonder when he's coming in then. That gap has grown to nearly 8 seconds, so Darrell having a very dominant performance so far in the Aston Martin. They are well on track to get past Alfa Romeo this round, despite the fact that Mason is in a point scoring position, but he is a reserve driver, so they will not count Alfa Romeo's tally. Now then we're going to go on board Ultimate Superior, that's Daryl's teammate. Heading through turn 2 and 3. Having a bit of a race of his own. He's got Joseph Dvorak in the Red Bull 9.5 seconds behind him. Sorry, ahead of him. And then we have Mason behind, who is nearly 7 seconds behind Joseph Dvorak. Yes, there we have Skid Solo in 8th place, who has a penalty. So does Shack Attack in the Mercedes. And then we have the two Williams drivers of Diego and Zuko F1. Very close battle between 3rd and 6th place. You can see all of them there. And there's Ibo in the mix for this too, who's nearly about to get lapped by all 4 of those drivers. Ultimate Mr. Puro, unfortunately, is the 3rd driver to get a penalty for track limits. Very easy to do so in the Mexico City circuit. Lots of places to go wide and exceed the track limits. Change of positions between the Williams drivers. Duke of Fun now ahead of Diego and up into the top 5. He did start, I think he started 12th or 13th. Yeah, 13th. He's now got himself up into 5th place with a very consistent restart. The pace seems to have improved compared to the start of the race. He's making ground quite quickly now, and he's got his championship rival Andrew just ahead of him in the Red Bull. Ooh, Diego losing a bit of time there due to a snap of oversteer. On board is simple now. 8th to turn 11, boys track limits there. Now heading into sector 3. That is Ibo. Blue flag race for Ibo, letting Enzo by. He'll have to let Andrew by very shortly too. Change for position between Suka Fun and Andrew, so Andrew taking the inside line, not paying off there, so Andrew has fallen to 5th. Suka Fun now up to 4th. So Williams are looking to get a good point haul after this round, so are Aston Martin and Haas, but yeah, very consistent race so far for Williams. Dodgy pit entry for Shack Attack there, as he comes to the pits to get rid of those 15 lap old soft tyres. Quite a long stint by him. As he's extended, I would imagine quite a few drivers on the medium tyres to go longer than expected. However, Shack Attack is now on a fresh set of medium tyres. We could see the medium runners pits at around lap 20. Let's go on board this 4-way battle again. Can Suka F1 get himself up into the podium paying positions? Decent exit for both of them there, but Suka F1 has caught up a little bit. Pressure really on now for Enzo, heading into the penultimate corner. Takes the inside line, that might not help him. Oh, he's coming into pit though. So that's Suka F1 taking 3rd place there. Enzo the first driver on the mediums to come and pit for a new set of tyres. Interesting strategy there, either by Shack Attack or Enzo, as Shack Attack pitted from soft tyres. Now onto the mediums. To possibly Shack Attack extending that soft tyre stint, hoping for a safety car that didn't happen. Gonna be quite close with a Skid Solo there and Enzo. Battle for 6th place. Brief yellow flag there for Mason heading out of turn 13. Let's go on board. We have Andrew there in a bit of a Williams sandwich between Diego and Secret F1. Tight line there for Diego. That might lose a little bit of time compared to the other drivers ahead of him. Nearly loses the rear there coming out of turn 7. Gets the line all wrong there, he made a big correction heading into turn 12. Down to turn 13. Then we see Andrew, who is on the hard tyres, coming into the pits. So Andrew, interesting strategy by him. We had a soft runner coming to change his tyres on lap 15. But now we have Andrew, who was on the hard tyres, pitting on lap 18. So interesting strategy there. And then it will be quite close with Enzo on the exit. But Enzo managed to get the undercut, so Enzo managed to maintain that place ahead of Andrew. Skid solo, not ideal for Andrew there, and he's got a bit of traffic ahead of him, so that skid solo we haven't pitted on the hard tyre. It's gonna be quite an annoyance for Andrew, who's gonna try and get past as soon as possible. He's actually gonna do that now, heading into turn, heading down the second DRS zone, and now into turn 4. He's now a full car ahead of Skid Solo. Ooh, not good for Veriduco in the Haas, who has managed to pick up a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, unfortunately. That is Veriduco also getting lapped by Daryl as well. That gap between Simple and Daryl is very close. It's not very close, that was another battle. It's now 10.4 seconds. Now we see Simple there lapping his teammates. Suka F1, our championship leader, has come into the pits. The Williams driver, changing from medium to hard tyre. Let's see where he ends up. He will probably be ahead of Ento, but it's much closer than it was before. It's actually remained quite kind of the same. So that is the net battle for the podium, as Diego has not pitted yet. So has a Simple and Daryl. So yeah, Diego will probably let his teammate by in about a few laps or so, as he catches up to him. He is an old set of hard tyres, so he will probably pit at around in between lap 20 and 25. Field is very spread out, so I doubt there'll be another safety car this race. We haven't had a safety car yet anyway. Joseph Dvorak will be the next driver to come into the pits, and so is Ultimate Mr. Puro. No, sorry, that is Daryl, who's nearly put a lap on Joseph Dvorak, who has come to the pits on the hard tyre. There we see Daryl putting on a new set of medium tyres, so Simple's now taking the lead of the race. Verduca has unlapped himself. And that is Joseph Dvorak letting Simple by there. So that's Simple putting a lap on Joseph Dvorak in the Red Bull. Close battle between Ultimate Mr. Puro and Mason. But we're now going to go on board with Andrew, who's going to get ahead of Shack Attack. Sorry, not ahead of Shack Attack, but ahead of the now lapped car, which is Ibo in the AlphaTauri. Despite Ibo being a lap down, he will score points as he's in 13th place at the moment. It all depends whether he actually finishes the race, so if he... Ooh, no. Bit of a wide moment there for Ibo. So we then have Daryl, who is now in 3rd place as a result of pitting. The drivers ahead of him, Diego and Simple, have not pitted and are still on those hard tyres. Let's see if they pit at the end of this lap. Let's go on board with Simple. Now approaching the final corner, does he come in? He does not. What does Diego do? Is he going to come to the pit lane to change his hard tyres? He is not, he's staying out. And you've got Daryl, who is now nearly within DRS range. So maybe some team tactics here are going to go on here. So Daryl could be held up here by Diego to allow Suka F1 to catch up to the back of him. There you see him at the back of the screen. And there is Enzo and Andrew closing up on him too. Yeah, good strategy here by Williams, so they can really take advantage of Diego staying out and Suka F1 on a fresh set of hard tyres, catching up to Daryl quite quickly. The gap is now under 6 seconds, so it's closing up really quickly. Wow, that would be a great move down the inside, but it hasn't paid off. Although he does go wide though, they're going to go side by side heading into turn 7. And wow, that's a brilliant move around the outside for Darryl, so he's now into second place. So unfortunately, that is not ideal for Suzuka F1, who was looking for that gap to close a bit more. It will be a harder task for him now. Although Darryl is on a set of tyres that will wear out more quickly, he could become vulnerable as we head towards the end of the race. We've still got 15 laps to go. Anything can happen. And now we have Simple, who was our race leader for lap 22. He comes to the pit lane now. Lost the place to Darryl. Is he going to lose the place to... He's lost the place to Suzuka F1. That was not the case before Suzuka F1 pitted. Is Enzo and Andrew going to get ahead of him too? Yes, they will. So Suzuka F1 losing quite a lot of places there. The strategy has not paid off. He's on a fresh set of medium tyres, so he could be quicker than them. As we head onto lap 22. There's Shack Attack there, putting a lap on Ibo, who's just behind him, and the AlphaTauri. Oh, I missed a change of position. Enzo and Andrew battling there. After the second DRS zone. Is Enzo going to move down the inside here? No, he won't. And there you can see Simple there, 2.5 seconds behind that battle. You can see him at the back screen in the Haas. The question is whether Enzo can stay within DRS range as we head towards the third DRS zone and towards lap 23. We did see Andrew go wide there, and that was his third warning, so that's Andrew with a penalty. Could be a costly one, as the field is very close where he is at the moment. So he's in fourth place and could be at risk of falling down to fifth and possibly sixth with that penalty for track limits. There's been a change for second place. Close battling between the Williams there. That's Diego still ahead of Suzuka F1. He actually got forced wide there, but Suzuka F1 will have the better line coming out the corner. They're teammates, but they're not giving each other any extra space. That's Suzuka F1 now ahead of Diego, up into second place. That is a driver who's now second place on track and is our championship leader. Is going to look to close down that 5-second gap to Darryl, who is in third place in the standings and is over 100 points ahead of Darryl in the standings. So with only 4 rounds left and a few sprint races to go, Darryl will need to do everything he can to defend that first place in order to stay realistically in championship contention. Let's see if Shack Attack codes. Oh yeah, there we go. Good solo in the McLaren there, just ahead of Ultimate Sapuro. Now we have Joseph Dvorak in the Red Bull. Duke and Ibo round at the top 13, and then we have Darryl, who is getting ahead of Red Bull. That's Joseph Dvorak in 11th place. And there you can see Suzuka F1 closing that gap down, that is now down to 4 seconds. Interesting strategy by Diego. He is the only driver who is yet to pit. On a very old set of hard tyres. He could be looking to pit for soft tyres at the end of the race. Ibo's pitted again for a new set of hard tyres. Verdugo is currently the only driver on track on the soft tyres. He's on 5-lap old soft tyres. Simple there on 2-lap old medium tyres is in 6th place and is looking to close the gap down to Enzo, who is now under a second behind Andrew. So let's see if he has DRS. Heading out of the penultimate corner and now into the final corner. And onto the main straight he goes. Does have DRS. But he looks to be quite a way back from Andrews, who might not have a go down the inside on this occasion. but you could put a lot of pressure on him onto lap 26. Late braking there compared to Andrew as we head into turn 2 and 3 now. There is some traffic ahead, so that is Verdugo, who's probably going to get out of the way in a few corners time. Andrew making a bit of a mistake there heading into turn 4, that's closed the gap down. But wide line there from Enzo is costing a bit of time. That gap is now 6 tenths. Good solo there in 8th place, ahead of Ultimate Mr. Burrow and the Aston Martin. Let's go on board with Darryl as we head on to lap 26. Darryl, race leader, we've got 11 laps to go. Can he maintain it? That gap is closing rapidly between him and Secret F1, who is on the hard tyres. They are 1 lap older hard tyres, but Darryl should be able to touch and go whether he can hold them off as we approach the end of the race. But that is a very crucial battle in terms of the championship. So our 3 championship contenders participating in this round are in the top 3 in the race so far. Although Andrew has got a penalty and the 3 drivers behind him are only, well there you can see there, Simple is only 3 seconds behind Andrew, so he's at risk of dropping down to 6th, which could be a complete disaster for him, as he needs a good result compared to his rivals in order to stay in championship contention. They're in 4th place in the standings, and they're over 100 points away from our championship leader. Change of position, that is Endo ahead of Diego. They were expecting him to make the move down to 10-1, but it's actually happened later in the lap in the 3rd DRS zone. We've got Simple there, looking to move in the stadium section. Diego there really struggling on the hard tyres. Is he going to come to the pits? No, he isn't. So he is looking to gamble for a safety car, staying out on those now 26 lap old hard tyres. And we head on to lap 27 with 10 laps to go. That is it. We have a great on board with Diego. Ends up braking slightly later, and that is Simple with a dive down the inside into turn 2. And that has caused Diego to have quite a messy complex of corners. Out of turn 3 has a very slow exit and has lost some time to the 4th and 5th place drivers. And then we have, so Diego going a bit wide there. It's Apex there, but it's now 1.1 seconds and it's going to be out of DRS zone. I wonder if this is the right time to pit. It is still an 80-second gap back down to Shakatak, so he is likely to only do his 1 place if he pits now. It will be quite close between him and Shakatak, as Shakatak has a penalty. On board with Darryl, who starts lap 28. Ooh, wide moment there. Simple's going to have a great opportunity heading out of turn, the final corner, that's turn 17, and he's up in 4th place. Can Simple get a podium with Andrew's penalty? We'll see. Now interestingly, that gap, that rate of decrease in the gap has slowed in the most recent laps. So that gap was 6 seconds as Sukov1 went up into 2nd place. He managed to narrow that gap down to around 3 seconds in a matter of a few laps. But in the last 3 laps, that has only gone down by a few tenths. It is still closing, but not by much. There is still quite a few laps for Sukov1 to close that gap and get within DRS range. And there you can see he's nearly under 2 seconds away from Darryl. You see there, clearly ahead of them on the screen. And then we have Andrew just ahead of Simple. On track, but not in the classification at the moment due to the penalty. I think it was due to track limits, and it was actually due to going wide at this corner here. that we're going to go aboard with Diego now in 7th place. Having a bit of a race there at the moment. Praying for oh, actually, we did not see that. So Diego's pitted for new medium tyres. Shack Attack is ahead of him. 8 seconds ahead of him, but does have a penalty. So let's see if that evolves. Let's see if that gap can close. He is on a fresh set of medium tyres. So we've got a very close battle here between Daryl and Sugar One. This can go right down to the wire. The question is, can Daryl's tyres last to the end? We know Sugar One's tyres will not have any problems as we head towards the end of the race. But they're quite late on the mediums. So could that tyre advantage mean victory for Sugar F1? We'll find out in a few laps' time. As we head into the stadium section now, lock up there from Daryl, but a bit wide from Sugar F1 too, so not an ideal corner entry for both those drivers. That gap is now closing more rapidly, so it's now 1.2 seconds. He's likely to have DRS as we head into lap 31. So he is probably going to have 5 clear laps of trying to get 6 clear laps of DRS and trying to get past Daryl. Game on for first place then. Also game on for the final podium position, and we see Simple having DRS, getting very close to Andrew there. Doesn't have the best of exits though, so that might compromise him heading into turn. Oh, actually, so that's Andrew getting ahead of Simple as he's got DRS now. Wide there from Simple, so that will hasn't cost him too much time. He wants to close the gap again, and that gap had really closed down. You might even see the move for the lead down into this corner, into the turn 1 on lap 31 then. So it's starting to become more obvious for who the racer will be in round 15. Pressure really on Daryl now. Is he going to defend the inside line? He does look like Sugar F1 is going to play the waiting game. Maybe not. Oh yeah, he is. There we see the Sugar F1 waiting for the final few laps, saving the ERS to make the move into turn 1 on Daryl for the lead of the race on the final lap in order to prevent Daryl from re-overtaking him in laps later on in the race. Simple still within DRS range there. He needs to stay within 3 seconds of Andrew in order for that penalty to drop Andrew out of the podium positions. I think Simple has already got a podium this season, I'm not actually entirely sure. But it would be a great result for Haas anyway. Their rivals in the team standings are Williams. Oh, it's not Williams. Then it's McLaren. That's the battle for 7th place in the standings. I missed this overtake between Diego and Shack Attack. That's between the Williams and the Mercedes for 6th place. Shack Attack does have a penalty. That gap was over 8 seconds, but it's closed, and he's now going ahead of him. So 2 very close battles as we approach the business end of this race. Is Simple going to go move down the inside? It looks like he is. DRS open. Move for 3rd place complete for Simple then, so that he's up to the podium positions. Takes the inside line. Can Andrew respond to it? Simple will have DRS again. Heading out of turn 3. We have a yellow flag. It's up for Joseph Dvorak. It is Joseph Dvorak who's had a spin coming out of turn 3. So I haven't lost too much time. He's actually put a lap on Ibo, who is in 13th place. Can Sucre F1 get his 9th win of the season? See. As we head on to lap 33, is he going to play the waiting game again with 4 laps to go now? Yes, he is. So, Sucre F1 in the Williams, waiting for possibly the penultimate lap or the actual final lap. That is quite risky though. Although he doesn't need to take, he could accept second, so it's a very large gap between the lead of, between his lead in the championship and his championship rivals, nearly 100 points. The gap between him and Darrell though is, yeah, it's over 100 points. It's nearly 120 points between Darrell and Sucre F1. Andrew has managed to close that gap down to simple again. Let's see if he can get past him and go gap ahead of Simple. So that is his only way of getting third place at the moment. Unless one of the top 2 DNF. That is the other way of getting into the podium position for him. And we haven't been on board with Mason for a while. He's in 10th place. He did quite a quiet race so far with a third for Alfa Romeo today. We are starting lap 34. Sucre F1 once again playing the waiting game. Looks like he is going to wait for the final 2 laps then. And then we have Simple, now onto the main straights. Andrew is just about within DRS range. It won't be enough, not sure if it will be enough heading to turn 1 though. Then we have Enzo, but quite behind them. 4.7 seconds behind them, yeah, that's Enzo. And then we have Diego, who started the race very well, nearly got up into the lead, but had an interesting strategy, prayed for a safety car, which did not happen. That is Mason letting drivers by. He's being lapped by the Ferrari now of Enzo. Boroduco is 43 seconds behind him, so not too much pressure on Mason's shoulders, I suppose. Let's now go on board for the lead, for the battle for the lead. We have got 2 laps to go, pressure's ramping up. Is Sucre F1 going to go for the lead of the race on lap 35, or is he going to wait for lap 36? He's going to try and go for it. No, he isn't. He's backing up again. Looks like lap 36 it is then. Battle for the lead in the final lap. Just like it was in Spain. Oh no, in Spain it was quite a dominant win by Williams. It's quite an unstressful final lap of the race. Let's go on with a Simple. He is alongside Andrew. Can Andrew get past him? The 2 very close battles out of track at the moment. Battle for first and battle for the final podium position. Very, very close between Sucre F1 and Darrell there. He's got his teammate Ultimate Superior ahead of him, about to get lapped. And that is Sucre F1 taking the lead ahead of Darrell. Sucre F1 has taken the lead for the first time this race on the final lap when it counted. He is now in pole position to take his 9th win of the season. And the chance of getting a double-digit number of race wins in season 5 looks to be on, as we've got 4 rounds to go. We've still got 4 rounds to go, so let's see how much that tally can extend. It's been a very dominant season so far by Sucre F1. The qualifying did not go well for Suka F1, and the race didn't start with the start of the race was quite mediocre for him too. He managed to improve his pace and has eventually got himself up into the lead. There's been a move for 11th place, so that's Joseph Dvorak getting ahead of Verdugo. Checkered flag is out. And that is Suka F1 getting his 9th win of the season. Brilliant drive, especially in the second half there by Suka F1 in the Williams. Daryl there, just behind him in second place. Had the lead until the very end. Be quite gutting. And then Simple has got onto the podium ahead of Andrew. Ivo has unfortunately got a penalty. Let's see it. That won't actually cost him that much because he's in last place. And then we have Enzo who finished 5th. Good result for the Ferrari reserve driver, but unfortunately none of those 10 points will count to Ferrari's tally in the team standings. And now we have Diego, the other Williams, finishing in 6th place. Close battle between, actually no, that is Shakatak and Ibo, who are very close together. Ibo is a lap down. They're waiting for the final driver to cross the checkered flag now. Racing to cross the checkered flag. Final driver to cross the checkered flag then is Skid Solo in the McLaren. On track to score number of points for 8th place. The good result for McLaren there, but not as good as Haas, who are right behind them in the standings. Driver of the day, Suka F1, not a surprise as he started 12th and managed to take the lead on the final lap. So that is 13 places gained for him, 12 places gained for him. And then we have the podium. Suka F1 on the top step. And then we have Daryl, who had to lead the race until the very end. He finished 2nd. And there we have the Haas of Simple finishing in 3rd. That could be his first podium of the season. Might be his 2nd, I'm not sure. So that is it for round 15 of the season 5 of the Marble Racing Championship. Let's see the results once again. So Suka F1 won the race and took the fastest lap too. So 4 points all there for Suka F1 and Williams. They are going to probably extend their tally compared to other teams in the team standings. Daryl finished 2nd, just losing the lead at the very end there. Simple in 3rd, rounding up the podium paying positions. Andrew in 4th place in the championship finished 4th today. And then Enzo, Diego, Shakatak, Skid Solo, and Ultimus Tapuro are rounding up the top 9, and then Mason is 10th. Verdugo, Joseph Dvorak, Ibo round up the top 13. Racing Room was our only DNF for this race. And that is it for round 15, so we'll see you next week for a sprint race weekend in Sao Paulo for round 16 of the Marble Racing League Championship, Season 5. We'll see you then.